How's it going? Armoured Pantz here, another video for you tonight. This one is my top 10 favourite tanks and shit like that, and some food for thought and bollocksology like that. Now, this is X-rated video, so I gotta warn you, there's going to be bad language. You're probably going to be a bit offended maybe, or maybe not, honestly couldn't give a fuck. And probably going to end up getting called a cunt, because one simply does not watch an Armoured Pantz video without being called a cunt, as Sean Bean said. Although, really, he can't be called Sean Bean, can he? He has to be called Sean Bon. Or Cian Bean. Can't have it both ways, Sean. Or Cian, or whatever you want to be called. But anyway, let's have a look. So I was asked to do this video about my favourite top 10 tanks and all that. Now, first thing I'm going to say to you is that this is just my opinion. This doesn't mean they're the best tanks in Blitz or anything like that. This is just my opinion, what I like playing at the moment, right? And by the way, it's also time sensitive, and that, you know, this is what I like playing right now. So there's some tanks in here which I really love, which I'm not playing at the moment, so they're not in there. But that's just the way it is, right? So if you don't like it, just fuck off, right? So now anyway, this is a bit of an eclectic mix of tanks. If you don't know what that means is, well, turn off this fucking video for a start and read a book, or stop playing fucking Blitz, you know, do something fucking proper with your life. But eclectic, for the you don't know what it means, is kind of, you know, it's not the same. It's written down there anyway. Now, what basically eclectic means is a bit of everything just thrown in. So what I mean by that is there's a bit of premium tanks thrown in, bit of light tanks, heavy tanks, you name it, just things I enjoy playing, you know. Eclectic, great name, isn't it? Yeah, so there you go. So learned something new today, so you can't say these videos are not educational, you know. There you go. So try to use that in a sentence later on, you know, when you're out in the pub with your mates, you know. It's eclectic. We're an eclectic bunch, aren't we? Yes, you are. Now fuck off, dictionary boy. Though technically it should be Tesser's boy. But anyway, before we get into that, by the way, and because this is an eclectic mix, I'd like to talk about some Blitz paradoxes, right? So, you know, these Blitz snobs that are out there, as I call them, you know, these fuckers that only play up in the higher tiers, and they're like, oh, you know, you're a noob, go play lower tiers, right? So you go play lower tiers because maybe that's where you're more comfortable. But then they see your profile and go, oh, look, he only plays lower tiers. Which is it, fuckface? What do you want? Do you want him to play lower tiers? Or do you want him to play the higher tiers? Because when he plays higher tiers, you the fuckers that are writing messages to people, go play lower tier, noob. And then when people play lower tiers, oh look, he only plays lower tiers. You, sir, are a cunt. You know who you are. We've all experienced it. You know you're sending these messages. And we've all received these messages too. You know who you are. You're a cunt, sir. You are a cunt. Blitz paradox too, you know these people who write things like, oh, I never paid to play. I've never paid money ever for it, you know. Well then, alright, but you know, you need to pay, because the day that Blitz start making fucking money from this game, it doesn't exist, so somebody needs to pay, you know. And but people, there's a sort of an inverse kind of paradox to this, and that people who don't pay, say that people who do pay are losers, which is kind of inverse to real life, where people who don't pay are the losers. So this is kind of fucking weird, sort of inverse sort of logic that there is, this fuzzy logic that there is in Blitz. But listen, right, I'm not saying you should pay to play, right? I'm not saying you should buy gold or anything like that, because a lot of people don't have money, a lot of people are unemployed, students or whatever, right? And you know, and I've nothing to do with Blitz or war games, so I don't give a fuck whether you spend money or not. And some people can't, right? But if you don't spend money, that's fine, but shut the fuck up about people who do pay it. That's their choice. And if you don't pay, but you criticise those who do pay, then you're just a fucking bum, right? So nobody wants to hear from you, just shut the fuck up, right? If people want to pay, buy tanks, premium tanks, and buy gold or whatever, just let them, right? They're fucking paying so you can play, because as I said, wargaming is a business. The day that they stop making money from Blitz is the day Blitz fucking dies. So just shut the fuck up with your opinions about paying money and that. You know, as I said, if you don't pay money, fine. I have no problem with that. That's great. And I'm happy to pay a bit of money now and again so you can play, because I'm a fucking giving type of guy. But just please shut the fuck up about people paying for it, right? Because, you know, otherwise you're just a bum. Nobody likes a bum, do they? They certainly don't. Now, Blitz reality 2. Pay to win does not exist. Now, if you think it does, and you're one of these people on forums talking about it, oh, please just fucking blow your head off, would you? You can't pay to win. What you can do is you can pay to get tanks, you can pay to advance quicker. But in actuality, if you think about it, if you buy a tank that you're not ready to play at tier 8, or you advance too quickly to tier 10 by using gold, you're not paying to win, you're paying to lose. It's a Blitz reality, it's another paradox. Now, pay to lose, that's far more realistic than paying to win. You buy a tier 8 or the tier 10 tank that's in the shops right now, and you go up there with like 1,000 games under your belt, you're paying to lose, my friend, paying to lose. Now, I'm not a gynecologist, but I know a cunt when I see one, and there are many cunts in Blitz full of their fucking opinions about, oh, I never pay, you pay, so you're a loser, go play lower tiers, oh look, he only plays lower tiers. Fucking just shut the fuck up, nobody's interested in what you think, and you're just a cunt. Why don't you just let people do whatever they want to do? Pay or not pay, play higher tiers, play lower tiers, play whatever the fuck they like. And that brings me back to this tank collection, because this is sort of like an eclectic mix, as I said. It's just all sorts of shit thrown in there. No particular rhyme or reason to it. There's probably more light tanks and fast movers than other types of tanks. But apart from that, it's just, you know, whatever I like right now. So anyway, let's have a look at these tanks, you know. So you've got all of that. You've got that Blitz philosophy of mind summarised, right? So here we go. So let's take a look at Armoured Pantz top 10 tanks. By the way, these are not in order. These are just sort of random. Again, eclectic. So firstly, this is something I like playing right now at the moment. This little Krupp 38D. Why? Well, I think it's sort of unusual tank that's come into Blitz. It's not something that we've had before, so it's something different to Wargaming. Actually wearing lazy bastards as normal and just putting different camo on something. This actually is something a bit different that we haven't had before. It's tier 5. Most players play between tier 4 and tier 8, with 5, 6 and 7 tiers being the most played. So that's where people feel comfortable and it costs less credits. And this is something different that's been given there. It wasn't expensive, it's good value for money. It's a good little tank, that great little frontal armour on it. It's small, you know, not the fastest medium, but it gets around the map. Gun is great. I've a review coming up with a mastery game soon. I just shot it there a day ago. Really great little fun tank to play, and something very different, something unusual from the Wargaming. So something, you know, to keep in your garage, something you can go back on. And of course, being a premium tank, it's a nice credit earner. So just have a look how I have it set up there, in case you have it or you're wondering how I set it up before you want to look at the review. As you see, this is how quite often set up tanks. I like to have supercharge and refined gun. Because I like to be able to snipe, and I believe that muzzle velocity is key. Maximizing muzzle velocity is key to penetration, so you get more hits, more bang for your buck. And when it's a premium tank, you want to get that, right? Because here's the other paradox about Blitz: premium tanks and using Pramo and all that pays off. Because, well, why? Because you get more credits, you get more XP, and you get more basically everything when you win games. And you have a better chance of winning games when you penetrate more, right? So simple, isn't it? You know, it's not fucking rocket science, is it? If I was a rocket science, I wouldn't be filming these fucking videos, you can tell you that's for sure. Now, next tank that I want to have a look at is the VK2801. This is a great tank. It's a fantastic looking tank, it's great to play, it's like shit off a fucking shovel. It has a fantastic looking arse on it, you know. I said in a review we did of it once, it has an arse like Dido. Not the singer, by the way, the Queen of Carthage, who had an affair with Aeneas on his voyage from Troy to found Rome. So there's a bit of classics thrown in for you there as well. Dido was supposed to be a very nubile woman, very beautiful. Nubile, there's another great word, by the way. So Aeneas had an affair with her, and was on his way to Rome, and so she began. I think she killed herself afterwards due to grief or something like that. That was, you know, we know these Greek and these Roman things are always in the tragedy. So RU251, that would be my next tank. For a while, this was my absolute favourite tank. It's still up there. I love playing it. Really is just a great tank. One of the things about the RU251 is it's one of the most unforgiving tanks in Blitz. Why? Because it has no armour. And because you're playing a tier 8, tier 9, there's some massive guns there, right? And you can be one-shotted. You get spammed HE at you, plus you're playing against more skilled players up there. So you really need to know what to do with the RU251, because really, you know, you're kind of a dwarf getting into a boxing ring with fucking Floyd Mayweather, you know. You've got a chance of winning, but probably you're going to end up getting fucked up and hospitalised for a long time. So if you can play the RU251 well, if you can master that tank or do well in it and become great or unicum in it, then you are a great Blitz player. So it's a good barometer, because really it's a very unforgiving tank, you know. And like that dwarf in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, if you make one mistake, you're going to hospital and you're going to be there drinking out of a straw for a long time, you know. So but it's great when you play it well. It's a great tank. It's an unusual tank too in that it has that really high pen on the HE, the 102mm of pen on HE, so you get some really nice alpha rolls. You can actually pen the back and sides of most tanks with the HE, which is unusual. And you know, it's a great tank for spotting, great tank for circle of death, great tank for just getting around the map and really influencing games. And in many ways it's the quintessential light tank. And you'll see that I have quite a few light tanks in here in my top 10 because I just like playing them. And I also think that perhaps they can be the most influential tanks on the game. Now, speaking of things that are really fast, like shit off shovel, this is the Dracula T6, which is a fucking awesome tank. It just looks awesome, it looks evil, it looks like it's coming to fuck shit up. You know, if this tank was a person, it would look like a shaved-headed fucking tattooed dude, probably though with a goth girlfriend coming down the road, and you just know he's here to fuck shit up, but also he's pretty fucking cool too. And this tank is just awesome. If you have one, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't have one, if it comes out in an event or at Christmas time, normally you can get it in chests, go for it. It's just great. It's like shit off a shovel. It's so fucking fast, it accelerates so well. It's one of the most maneuverable tanks in Blitz. Has a very good gun. It's just great tank to play. Also, its tracks repair themselves in 2 seconds, so it's really great tank to play. And if you like circle of death, if you like getting out there, brawling, spotting up the enemy, moving around the map, this tank is another tank which really is great at that. It's just great fun. It looks great. It's really unusual, and it's just great fun to play. Also has a little bit of armor. You'll get some bounces on it, but just look at the design that went into this. I know some people don't like fantasy tanks, you know, they go, no, you know, I don't like fantasy tanks, wargaming are ruining the game. Listen, let me tell you, all the tanks in Wargame and Blitz are fucking fantasy tanks, right? Do you think that the Tiger in here, the Tiger 2, the King Tiger in here handles like the Tiger did? It doesn't, and it's fucking arse. All the tanks are fantasy, just some of them happen to have the names of real tanks and some don't. And if you're one of these people who fucking is religious about this fucking fantasy tanks things, then you're a bigger fucking loser than I thought, because basically, you know, they're all fantasy tanks. Now this is going to really annoy you, because this is another fantasy tank. Also didn't exist. This was the Helsing. What's really fantastic about this tank is the gun, the double barrel gun. It's very unusual. I think it's the only tank in Blitz with it. Look at the design that went into this tank though. Look, it's just a thing of beauty. It looks fantastic. It's a great tank to have in your collection. It's a tank destroyer obviously, but it can play like a heavy tank, especially if you're not top tier. You can even play as a medium tank, because it's really fast. And it just reloads really well, just over 8 seconds to reload both barrels. And it's just a fantastic tank to play. It's a fantastic tank to have in your collection. It's an unusual tank, right? And if you don't have it, a lot of people who don't have it really want to get it, and if you do have it, you'll see a lot of people are quite jealous about it, and they, you know, give you abuse just for playing it. But this is a fantastic tank. It was in the event with the Dracula, possibly the two best tanks they've ever had in events. In my opinion, the best tanks they've ever had in events, and well worth winning. I think it was Halloween 2015 or 2016 when they came out. I got them. I was only just started playing Blitz. I got them at the time, and then I got them again on other accounts subsequently, because I don't really play my original account anymore. But yeah, so this is a really great tank. Looks great, performs really well. It's the closest tank to an OP tank there is, I think, because just the gun, the damage it does. I mean, you're getting 400 plus alpha rolls every 8 seconds. It's really great, and it holds its own even if it's up tiered. And as I said, it's fast. Those angles, it's small. Those angles on that armor are really great. And you know, it's cool. It just, you know, from a literary sense, it's cool. You know, it's the antithesis of the Dracula, right? It's the mortal enemy of Dracula, as it was in Bram Stoker's famous book Dr. Helsing against famous Count Dracula. And it was great that in the event it was the Dracula and the Helsing were the two tanks, the yin and the yang, that were available at the time. So if you don't have that, I would definitely try to get it. Like with the Dracula, particularly at Christmas time, they're usually available in chests. And whatever fucking car wheels or shite that fucking Wargaming decides to fucking put on at Christmas time to get more money out of fucking poor suckers like us. Now, next, T34 Independence, the first heavy in here. It could also be just be the T34 because they're exactly the same fucking tank. That's how lazy wargaming are sometimes. There's a T34 premium tank, and then we just put a bit of different fucking paint on it and slap it in, and there's a different tank for you guys. Give us another fucking $40 or $50. Now I just like this just because it's unusual. The paint is unusual, and it looks, you know, looks something different, right? Better than the normal T34. Or the Falcon, as they call it sometimes, if you get the Millennium Falcon paint on it. I like this paint job in this, but you know, T34 itself is also a good premium tank. But this is more unusual, so this is why I like it. Why do I like it? Well, it's a real hold down monster. The gun on it is fantastic. I think it's possibly, in my opinion, the best gun on a tier 8 heavy. It's so accurate, big alpha rolls, decent reload time. And if you go hold down this thing, the turret on it is awesome. It's going to bounce shots all day long, so it's great fun to play. Not a quintessential heavy because it's vulnerable on the lower parts. It doesn't have good frontal armor. It can be penned by most things. Even smaller caliber guns can pen it with APCR, so not really the best for side scraping either. But just the gun is a thing of beauty on it. And if you, as I said, if you can get a hold down on it, and it's just really great. I've had some great games in this tank. I really enjoy playing it. One of my favourite tier 8 heavies. Now, another tank destroyer. This is the Waffenträger, the WT Panzer 4, or Panzer 4, as they would say in Germany. Now, why do I like this? I'm not really sure, to be honest. Quite an unforgiving tank, more or less paper armour. But just the gun is fantastic, and you know, it's a challenge to play. You're up there with tier 9s, tier 10 tanks sometimes, but the gun in it is just a thing of beauty. It's massive alpha rolls. With HE rounds you can get 1,000+ damage, and you can even one-shot some tanks. You know, it eats our U251s for breakfast. Any light tank, any medium tank, this thing is going to have it for breakfast. And with Pramo, it's going to pen even the biggest heavies, even front on, especially into the lower plate. It's a great fun TD to play. It's a challenge to play, which is why I kind of enjoy it. And I much more enjoy it than the Rim, the Borsig before, and the Grill after it. I just think that this is probably the most balanced of those no armoured, fast moving German tank destroyers. And I think it's and you know, it's also a tech line tank, so anybody can get it. You know, you don't need to spend gold or anything. You can grind up to it, and you know, I would say that if you go up to that, you don't even need to go up to the Grill. The Grill is actually the Grill has limitations that the Waffenträger doesn't have. The Grill doesn't have a 360 traverse. The Grill doesn't have the ability to fire over the back as this Waffenträger has, an increased gun depression. So yeah, I actually think I prefer it to the Grill, even though the Grill is a tier higher. Now, next tank in line, where are we at the moment? There's 7 or 8, fuck, I lost count. So I think we'll go down a tier, we'll go down a bit now, and we'll have a look at one of my favourite tanks. Actually, no, this is tier 9, right? So, sorry, this is 9th one. So actually, this is the T34 lightweight. This is another fantastic tank. I think this is the first tier 8 tank I actually got a mastery badge in many years ago, and I just love playing it. It's very like the RU251. It's really fast, small, but unlike the RU251, it has armour. It has some armour on the front. This will bounce some shots. It's not a fucking shell magnet like the RU251. You'll get some bounces in this baby. It looks great. It moves so well. The gun is actually quite accurate for a Russian tank. But look at it, it's just a thing of beauty. It's really like the T54 and the Object 140 and the T62A. They're all very good looking tanks, but this I think is a really special looking tank, and it performs really well, and it's just a pleasure to play. You know, it's so fast. It does power slides like the RU251. It's just a great tank. You know, low profile. That turret will bounce shots. It has a bit of armor on the front. You can ram tanks, particularly like something like a Waffenträger. You can ram it in. It's just great fun to play. Now, by the way, I don't know what the stats are in these tanks, and of course I played them across all different accounts, so I don't really know. So I'm not So these may not be the tanks I have the highest stats in. I don't actually know what my stats are in particular tanks. I think that's a lot of bollocks anyway. You should just play what you enjoy, right? And people put too much stock into stats and shit like that. Basically, Blitz is a fucking game, right? So games are played for fun. So if you enjoy playing something, just play whatever fucking tank you like, and don't listen to other fucking people, right? That'll be my key message to you. Just play whatever the fuck you like, whenever you like, and just fuck everybody else. You know, as Oscar Wilde said, what other people say about you is their business. Nothing to do with you. Go fuck them. They can just go fuck themselves. Anyway, number 10, Object 140. I like the T62A as well. I like the T34 before, but I think the Object 140 is just, my opinion, the best medium tank at tier 10. It's fast. It plays very like the T54 lightweight. Small, good turret armor, actually good frontal armor too. It's really fast, like shit off a shovel. A small target, gets around the map. It's so agile, and if you get in on heavy tanks in this thing, you can just reap havoc. It just is a great medium tank that plays almost like a light tank at tier 10, and one of my favorite tanks, and I really love playing it. Now let's have a recap top 10 list. Here we go. So RU251, the AMX, the Electric Biscuit, which I actually don't think we looked at, did we? But yeah, anyway, I love that too. That's kind of like a dwarf, an RG, you know, just gets around, you don't see it coming, very small, just slips in, but can do a lot of damage. The WTF Panzer IV, Dracula T6, Helsing HO, T34 1776, Object 140, T34 lightweight, VK28, and the Krupp 38D. So there's a couple of premium tanks in there, or collectible tanks as they are now, whatever the fuck. Some Techline tanks like the RU251 and the AMX Electric Biscuit. And the AMX Electric Biscuit, I think, actually forgot to put in to have a look at that. But you know, that's a great tank. It's a great tank to learn how to play a light tank skills in. And by the way, you see a lot of light tanks in there, so check out the light tank guide on channel. Now that's the finish. And remember now, cunt is not just for Christmas, so let's have a listen to Ada and let's listen to their advice on being a cunt. I think it's very valuable. Take it away, ladies.
Oh, I love this music. I love Christmas.
Me too, and we need it more than ever now after the terrible year we've all had.
Oh, so true, Adele.
Christmas comes but once a year, and when it comes it brings good cheer, a season of goodwill and fun. And yet while most of us feel festive, Grinches out there just get restive and spoil it all for everyone. Though it's too much to expect you to be nice, you'll find that life is easier with this advice. Try not to be a cunt, it's Christmas. Take a tip from Santa's elf. The rest of us are doing our best to be jolly, so don't go looking like you swallowed a bunch of holly. Don't shout at carol singers and tell them to stop. Don't buy your presents from the Oxfam shop. For fuck's sake, be merry, have another sherry, and try not to be a cunt. Try not to be a cunt. Look, there's the reindeer. I'm sleighing up to Lapland. Try not to be a cunt. C-U-N-T, country, country, cunt.